Good morning, all. We'll just wait for a couple of more minutes and we'll start today's session. Okay, I'm still admitting we are 95 participants, so hopefully after 100 Google Meet will not allow me to, yeah, more people will not be able to join. So let's wait till we are at the 100 mark so that it will not uh, make sound. Okay, I think now we will not be disturbed by that ting ting every now and then. So, good evening, all of you. My name is Indrayani, and we will be doing a tutorial or previous year's assignment solving session. We will be trying to solve the assignments together with all of you. So I will be introducing myself, and then we will be having a look at some of the some guidelines which we can both of us can follow so that the live sessions are conducted within the stipulated time and we are able to achieve the goal of these live sessions. Yeah, so we will be solving the assignments for the course of the joy of computing using Python. The course is conducted by Professor Sudarshan Iyengar from IIT Ropar, and my name is Indrayani Nishane. I am from IIT Bombay. So before we start, we will be meeting for all 12 weeks for these live sessions every Tuesday. So we need to, I will be introducing myself, and we'll be understanding what we will be doing in this 12 weeks duration. Yeah, so I'm a third year research scholar from interdisciplinary program in educational technology. We call it IDP at ET from IIT Bombay. I am also PMRF fellow. PMRF is Prime Minister Research Fellowship. So this work I am doing is under the PMRF external teaching duty thing. Yeah. So My research interests are in the areas of learning analytics. Learning analytics is using students' log data. So, students' log data from the learning environment. So, the the most well versed learning environment is Swayam. Yeah, so I plan to
Excuse me,
use
ma'am.
data of such
Sorry
learning environments.
to disturb you.
Yes, Kavish.
Ma'am, some students are trying to join the class, but they can't.
Yes, I'm sorry because we have already reached the limit of Google Meet's 100 participants limit. So that limit was crossed at 7:02, and now I'm not able to admit any more participants. I'm getting the repeated requests, but I'm really sorry I can't admit more than 100 in the Google Meet link. So don't worry, if they are your friends, they can join some other, because there are 4 such sessions going on. So my session is one of them. So there are 3 more sessions which are conducted in different times on different days. Some of them are scheduled on Tuesdays only. So they can join those other sessions as well. uh, yeah, or otherwise we will be recording this session and uploading it on YouTube. Hopefully through Swayam platform, these recordings will be reaching to you. Yeah. Yeah. So to continue, I will be using the
Well, thank
log
you.
data of such learners while they interact with any computer-based learning environment, and will be analyzing to understand how the learning happens, since I am from educational technology domain. So that is about my research interest and my PhD work. Coming to the point, that I have done previous TA sheets for NPTEL for 2 courses, demystifying networking and software conceptual designs. So you can connect with me by dropping me an email. This is my email ID. Yeah. So moving on to next part is what we will be doing every Tuesday for 12 weeks. So we will be solving the previous year's assignments. So why should we solve all the previous year's assignments? Because generally the assignment pattern for NPTEL courses is similar. The similar kinds of questions are asked every year. So if we try to solve previous year's assignment questions, that will help us in solving current year's assignment questions, as well as the exam questions, the final exam questions, right? So this is going to help us in improving our performance. And of course you can ask the questions in between, but to maintain the decorum, either you can raise your hands, or before we can kind of disturb the flow of the meeting or the flow of the sessions. What you can do is you can type in the chat box. I have the chat messages opened right on my screen. So once I finish the particular problem, I can have look at into your query and try to answer, right? So we'll try to do this in both ways, where you can also you also get to ask me questions, and together both of us, we can solve the previous year's assignments, right? So now let's move on to assignment 1, the previous year's part, right? So I hope all of you can see the assignment 1, the screen where I have shared the assignment 1 questions. So if it is visible, please raise your hands. If I see 5 raise hands, I can move forward, right? Great. Thank you so much for responding. I'll be, we'll be talking that way. And once I'm in the middle of the solving the assignments, you can raise hands also, or you can type in the chat box if you want to unmute and say something, okay? So right now the meeting settings are in such a way that all of you can unmute and start your videos, so that we connect at the better level, right? So let's hope that these sessions are fruitful and useful for all of you. So should we begin? Again, you can raise your hands or type in the chat box. Oh, yeah, thank you so much. I'll just zoom in. I hope it is now it is a bit clearer, the questions. Ravi Shankar MK is saying that the font size is very small and can't see the letters. Yeah, now it's better. Yeah, thank you so much for responding, Raviji. Yeah, so this way we can communicate, and I'll try to accommodate the all the queries to my best of my abilities. Yeah, so let us. Oh, I'm getting repeated requests for joining the session. I'm so sorry, can't join more than 100. We are already at the 100. Yeah, let's try. Okay, fine. So this was last week's assignment. Sorry, last year's assignment. Last year, as in the last run of the course. So this course is one of the popular courses of NPTEL. So this was run in the previous semester as well. Yeah, sure. I will be sharing. Yes, Kavish, I'll be sharing the my channel's name. Maybe in the next session, I will share the this session's recording also, because I'll be editing and compressing today's recording and then uploading. So maybe today it will not be possible for me to share the channel details, but next week for sure I'll be sharing the channel details. So Prasad, I'll not be sharing in the landscape mode because the options are in the code snippet mode, no? So I'll have to change the orientation again and again. So what we'll do is whenever the question comes, we'll zoom in the screen and so that we are able to see the scratch code snippets properly, right? So the, yeah, we still should I zoom in? Okay, so fine. Let's do one thing. We'll do it in the landscape mode only. Is it better now? Is the text better now? I changed it to landscape mode and zoomed in the text. Yeah? Okay, okay. Great, great. Thank you. Yeah, now I think you can read, right? Okay, great, great, great. So the old assignments will not be visible to everyone. Since I am the TA, I have access to the older assignments or the last runs assignments. So these are fairly simple and fairly similar to the current assignments, like what you will be solving in this week's. So I'm hoping that all of you have watched the course videos of week 1, where Professor Iyengar has introduced to the Scratch programming environment, because assignment 1 mostly consists of the Scratch type of questions that we should be we should be able to get the this thing, how the codes are run, what will be the output of a particular snippet, or if a particular snippets in all the 4 options are giving the desired output. So these type of questions are in the assignment 1. Even in the current run the questions are similar, and the previous run also the questions are similar. Okay, so without further ado or further background, let's start solving the week 1 assignment 1 of the last semester's run of demystifying of the I'm sorry, I'm so used to demystifying networking because I did the TA-ship for that course, so my bad. So let's enjoy the joy with computing, right? So the question 1 for last run's assignment says, which of the following set of instructions will make the sprite? So sprite in a Scratch environment is the image, which is by default a small orange color cat. So that is called sprite. So that orange cat that will move in a triangle, right? So here we'll try to decipher the code, decipher the question, what is being asked. So we are asked to find out the snippet which will make the cat move in a triangle, right? Move in a triangle. Huh? So so this can be done in 2 ways. So we know one property of triangle from our school time, that the sum of all the angles of triangle, that if this is the triangle A, B and C are all the angles, then angle A plus angle B plus angle C is 180 degree, right? So when we want to make the sprite move, or when we want to make the cat move, so what we can do is we can give instructions to the cat that it has to move in n number of steps. And how we decide the direction? We decide the direction by giving the angle. So turn are the turn is the command which we use, or is the code. So let's try to go back to the code. So here are this is the motion code, right? So this is the angle wala turn angle, and here we can specify how much of the angle we want to make the cat turn, and move is how many steps we want that sprite to take, right? So in the motion, so this is the Scratch programming environment. I have gone to the Scratch website and I have started the coding in the Scratch. So these are the motion related. So here you can see the motion related set of programming instructions which we can use, right? So here we can change the look of the sprite. So from here we can change the sprite, we can add the sprite by clicking on this particular cat symbol. So these are the images which we can choose for our sprite. So by default there is this cat. So this is the default sprite, and we can move that cat, we can make that cat change its look or say something, add some sound using all these motion and looks and sound related blocks. So Scratch is the block based programming language, right? This is the Scratch environment where we can drag and drop the blocks, and then code our sprite or make our sprite do different things. So Ashni ji, to answer your questions that you are asking, Tuesday sessions assignments different from Friday session ones. So no, because all the TAs, 4 different TAs will be conducting 4 different sessions. So we are supposed to solve the previous runs assignments. So mostly the questions will be same, only a couple of questions can be different, but mostly the questions will be same. Yeah, so you can attend either of any of the 4 sessions, whichever suits your timing, right? Yeah, so no, so only one. So Aditya, only one. So this is first week. So we'll be conducting. So Royali ji will be conducting these sessions for all the 12 weeks till the course is running. So you can attend any of the 4 sessions. So you have been shared the links to 4 different sessions, the Google Meet link to 4 different sessions, which are scheduled at 4 different times. No, so you can attend any one of them. So these are 4 different because many of us have different schedules and different times. So to accommodate everyone, we are conducting sessions at the different times. So whatever time suits you, you can attend that. Okay, so let's move back to the assignment question. Yeah, so we will be using the turn using different angles wala command and steps wala command, right? Yeah. So now we know this property of the triangle, where all the angles of the triangle, the sum of internal angles of the triangle is 180 degrees, and how we can move the cat using asking cat to move ahead or take certain number of steps and turn in some degrees or some angles, right? So let's check the what are the options given to us, right? Yeah, so this is the option 1. Let us change the orientation. So now it is, I hope the changing orientation is not disturbing the view. I changed from portrait to horizontal. It's fine. Yeah, okay, great, thank you. Yeah, so we'll do this. For questions we'll go to horizontal mode, and for options and coding we'll move to portrait mode, right? So there are few more people want to join, so I will yeah. So option 1 says we can ask cat to turn 60 degrees, right? So 60 degrees and move 200 steps, then 120 degrees. So let us 60, 120. Then wait for some time, then move 100 steps. Then again wait and then turn minus 120 degrees. Yeah. Okay. And then 200 degrees and turn 180 degrees. So after turning 180 degrees, the cat is not moving. Okay. So cat is just taking the 200 steps and wherever whichever position the cat is going, it is turning 180 degrees there. Yeah. So now we will not consider this 180 degrees, because once the cat has moved, before the snippet stops running, it is turning 180 degrees. So we have to keep this in mind, that the last moving thing happens at 200. So if the cat starts from here, then it will turn 60 degrees, which is roughly like this, no? If this is 60 degrees, going 200 steps, reaching there, and then 120 degrees, right? So this is 0 degree, this is 180, so this would be somewhere 120 degrees, roughly speaking. So cat will reach here, and now the cat takes minus 120 degrees and goes somewhere here. So because this is 0, so minus 120 degree would be somewhere here, and cat is reaching here, and after this is certainly not the triangle. So this particular snippet will not give us the cat's movement or sprite's movement in triangle. Also, the quicker way to verify this is adding all the angles. So minus 120 plus 120, so the sum of this is 60 degrees. So this will certainly not give the triangle, you know. So option A, the first option, is not the correct. So let's check out the second option. So here what is happening is, the cat is turning 60 degrees, then moving 100 steps, then turning 120 degrees, then moving 100 steps, then turning minus 120 degrees, then moving 100 steps and turning 90 degrees. But then again, after moving, it is turning 90 degrees. So again the sum is 60 degrees, right? So even this option should not give us the triangle. Okay, so let's move on to next. So this is 60 degrees, this is 120 degrees, and this is minus 120 degrees, right? So cat is here 60, it is moving 60 degrees, going there, then plus 120 degrees is coming somewhere here, and then minus 120 degrees is going somewhere there. Yeah, so this will also not be the correct option. So again we can add 60 degrees, minus 60 degrees, plus 60 degrees, and minus 60 degrees. Yeah, so if cat is starting from here, moving in 60 degrees, then minus 60 degrees, coming back here, and then again moving here, so this option will give us the correct answer, right? So this way we can try solving and getting. Yeah, okay, fine. Arman will not go back to all the 4 options. For next, I will try to put the sign for the angles, okay? Yeah, so this is giving us, so let us move on to the next question. What will be the value of my variable at the end of the loop is the question. Yeah, so we will try to decipher this code. Okay, okay, so negative angle wala thing, if this is the 0 degree, 180 degree, right? So from 0 to 180, this will be the positive, or this direction will be the positive angle, right? This will be the positive from 0 to 120. But if it is 0 to if we want to do the negative, then it will be clockwise direction or the opposite direction. So this is how we can do it in the opposite direction. So if we are considering a positive angle in clockwise, then negative angle anti-clockwise, right? In clockwise and anti-clockwise in opposite direction. So like the number lines, you know, if we are considering from 0 to positive number, say for example this is the number line, 0 here and plus 1 is here and minus 1 is here. So if the positive angle is towards this direction, then the negative angle could be in this direction, the opposite direction. Okay, so I'm not running this snippet in the Scratch, because in the final exam you might not get a chance to run the snippet and find out what is the answer. So we will try to think like a computer before solving this Scratch codes. We will try to think like a computer, how a computer will execute a particular set of codes. Okay, so we will try to do that. So that way we can look at the snippets and we can predict what can be the code. So that's why I'm not trying to run the code and do it, right? So here what we will do is we will try to see how this code will be run in the compiler or in the computer. So what this particular set of code is asking us to do is, they are saying set my variable to 0. So there is a variable is something in a computer program which can attain different values and which can store values during our during the sequence of the computer program, during the time in which the code is run. So we can use these variables to store different values while we write any program. So say for example here the variable name is my variable, and we are setting that the my variable's value to 0. So this my variable's initial value is 0. Now we are supposed to repeat 10 times. So what code we are supposed to repeat the 10 times? So as you can see, this light orange block is beginning here at this code, and it is ending here at this code. And there is a arrow, the white arrow over here. This arrow will say that after these two lines of code is executed, it will go back again. Like this is the first line, this is the second line. It should go back again and again execute first line and second line. So this is the simple loop. So this loop we are supposed to, computer is supposed to repeat the 10 times, right? So what it is doing is change the my variable value by 5. That means it will add 5 to my variable, and it will change the my variable value by -1. That means it will subtract 1 or add -1 to my variable value. Okay, so effectively it is adding number 4 to this my variable value, right? So what is so with every iteration it will be iterated 10 times, no? So with every iteration it will add 4. Yes, it is like the step value, but instead of what it is doing is, it is 10 times it will add 4 to my variable. So my variable's initial value is what we have set to 0. Over here we have set to 0, so it will add 4 10 times, that means 40 to this 0. So 0 plus 40 will be our final answer. So final value to this code, this snippet is is 40. So many of you are typing in the chat box 40. Yes, you are absolutely right. So are you finding this easy to understand, that how a computer will be doing it? Should I explain? This time I explained every step. So should I explain like this, or we can quickly do a run through questions or this thing? So if it is required, you can raise your hands. If it is not required, then no action from your side, right? You can quickly raise your hands if you need such detailed explanation. Yeah, so let me just see how many want detailed explanation. Yeah, so there are around 10 raised hands. So we will slowly move to overview. Okay, we'll slowly move to overview. We'll go slow only for everybody's benefit, right? So let us see if the number 40 is in the options. Okay, our answer is 40 and we have this number 40 in the answers here. Yeah, so yes, we solved 2 questions. Yeah, okay, fine. So we will go step by step. We'll go very slow. Yeah. So this is the question 3. Yeah, visible? Question 3. we'll try not to look at the correct answers, okay? Even though the correct answer is visible, we'll try to not look at the correct answer. So, Rayoli ji, as I said, we are previous TAs, so we have gotten access to previous year's questions. You might not be able to see this, but you can refer to, pay attention in this class and try to understand. So, this year's assignment questions are also very similar to these type only. So, you will find the assignment 1 questions for this time's course are also these kind only, the scratch programming, the block where you are asked to predict the code or predict the output or guess the correct snippet of a particular set of code, So we'll try to answer this question. So question being asked here is, what will be the value of my variable? So here again there is a variable which will store some different values during our program is being run, right? So for the course of our the program running, right? So let us try to make a list here, how many different values this my variable is taking. So I will write mv for my variable, okay? This is mv, which is my variable. So the first block, what it is doing, it is assigning the value 10 to my variable, because here we are doing it 10, right? So we are assigning mv the initial value as 10. Now the code is repeating 10 times. Here the repeat loop, I'm sorry, it is moving on its own. I'm trying to keep it to the center, but the PDF is moving on its own. So these particular steps will be repeating 10 times because we are asking it to be repeated 10 times, right, using this repeat block. So these two steps will be repeated 10 times. So what it is doing is, the initial value of my variable is 10, right? So it is waiting for 1 second, and after that it is changing the value of my variable by 10. That means it is adding number 10 to my variable values. So with every loop it is adding 10 to mv. So that means the my variable's value, new value after first run will be 20, right? So now it is 20, right? Amudavalli ji, to answer your questions, instead of sharing, we are practicing together. So likewise, so the PDF of these, the marketed PDF which I will be using, I'll be writing this. So hopefully this will be shared by NPTEL people with you. If it is not happening, then again you will get the recording of the session, so you can go back to the recording and practice these questions. So for initial assignments, these are easier, very conceptual to understand, and through initial weeks we will be just trying to think like a computer, because not all of us are well versed with the concept of programming. So we will try to understand what exactly a computer program does, how these loops and conditions are executed in computer program, and how to think like a computer, that is how to think about the logic behind the programming. So the focus for first few weeks is not actually Python per se, but to develop the logical skills or the algorithmic thinking like a computer. So that is the goal for the course. So don't stress out about the questions, and don't worry about if the assignment questions will be shared by you. It is just we are trying to cultivate how to think like a computer. So once you start thinking like a computer, you can also do programming in any of the languages, not just Python or Scratch, in all the programming languages. So what I would like to share is, don't stress about the assignment questions or getting things right or wrong. We will just together in this journey, we'll try to figure out, we'll try to develop or cultivate this algorithmic thinking, right? So don't stress. So Meenakshi ji will be soon sharing these recordings with you. If they are not shared with you through the NPTEL portal, I will be uploading it on my YouTube channel. So I will be sharing this session's recording in the beginning of the next session, next Tuesday, right? Yeah, so let's go back and let's not break the link, and let's try to figure out, we so far we have seen that after the first run, the value of my variable becomes 20. So now what happens is, Again in the second run, it waits for 1 second, and then again change my variable value by 10. That means it will add 10 again to this 10. So now it will become 30. For second run it will become 30. So now third run it will become 40 because it is adding 10 again, right? So fourth run it will become 50. Fifth run it will become 60. So we are supposed to run this loop how many times? 10 times. So sixth run it will become 70. Seventh it will become 80. Eighth it will become 90. Ninth run it will become 100, and 10th run it will become 110. But this is not what we are asked. The code doesn't end there. There is one last thing which is outside, one last block which is outside our for loop, which is asking us to set my variable value to my variable divided by 5. So right now this my variable value is 110. So now new my variable value, or the final my variable value, will be this old my variable value, which is 110 divided by 5, which is 22. So many of you have already answered it as 22 in the chat box. So you are now beginning to think like a computer and quickly figure out what this code can do. So we did in week 0, if all of you remember, we did some maths based assignment. The week 0 questions were all regarding mathematics. So why we did maths there? Because computer programming and programming concepts and math concepts are very similar in nature. Like if you are solving a mathematical problem step by step, we are also solving this code, or code is also getting executed step by step. So so many of you might be wondering why they are asking the math question in assignment 0. So now when we are doing this thing, we are following a method. We are breaking the big math problem into smaller doable chunks, so, which we can solve, right? So that thinking of doing step by step, following a step by step solution, that is helping us here while solving the programming snippets. We are thinking at what step how the execution of a program will be. So that is being done here. So the answer is 22. So the question 4 says what the sprite or the cat will say. Okay, so now we are supposed to look at the snippets and figure out what the code snippets are doing. So this question will have 4 options, and we'll try to figure out what this snippet will be doing, right? So here there is a variable called small t, right? Yeah, so Tejal ji, I'll be sharing the link to the recording in the beginning of the next session, okay? So don't worry about the YouTube channels now, right? Let's focus on the assignment questions. So this is the variable t, and we are setting the initial value to 0. Okay, so this is called initialization of variable. We are assigning some value to that particular variable. It is before we can do some operations to that variable, it is having some value. So this is the concept of initialization of a variable. So in this set block, we are initializing this variable, right? So we are initializing this variable to 0. So now this is the first value, the initial value of t is 0. So now we have to repeat until. So this until says there is a condition to how many times we can repeat these steps. So all these 3 steps which are part of this particular loop. So there is a upper limit to which this code can be executed. Okay, so now we have this t set to 0. So is 0, so we will check this condition. This is the condition, t should be greater than 5. So currently t is 0. So t is greater than 5. Yes, t is greater than 5. So that means we can execute these 3 lines. So it will say t. So what it will say? It will say, we'll write here, it will say 0. because currently t's value is 0, right? So now what it does is it changes the t value. So let's write here first iteration. In first iteration, what it does is it changes the value of t by 0. That means it is adding by 1, my bad, by 1. So it is adding 1 to the 0, right? So t's value become 1. So it is waiting for 1 second, and now we have t as 1. So is 1 greater than 1 less than 5? Yes. So repeat until t value reaches greater than 5. Okay, so this is 1 is greater than 5. So again it will execute say t. So now what it will say? 1. Now in second iteration, it is again add 1 to 1. So the value of t will become 2. It will wait for 1 second. Now t is 2. So is 2 greater than 5? Is this condition holding true for again executing? Yes. So in third execution, it will say 2. And the t value will change to 3 because 1 is getting added here. So now it will again go back to checking the condition, this statement. So 3 greater than 5, the condition is still holding for the loop to be executed again. So it will say 3. So this is the fourth execution. So it will say 3. So again the 3 value is changing to 4. Then is 4 greater than 5? So this condition for the loop execution is again satisfied. So it will say 4 in fifth execution. So after changing it to 4, we will again, the new value will be 5. Yeah. So now the fun part. Now t value is 5. 5 greater than 5? Okay. So Arunji, you asked the very correct question. The sub program will run if the condition is true or false. Okay. So here we will try to understand what repeat until. So the until word here is important. Till now we did not see this repeat until. In previous question the block was only repeat. Let's go and check the previous condition. It was only repeating. It was not checking for the condition. So now the condition or the block says repeat until. So what repeat until literally means, we have to repeat until this condition t greater than 5, this particular condition is true. So if whenever this condition is true, we will stop execution because it is asking us to repeat until this condition is true. So whenever this condition is false, this code will be executed, right? So here the keyword is until, right? I hope I'm clear. Yeah. If you're still in doubt, no, this condition will turn true. It is not like that. It will always be false, right? So now t is 5. So this condition is t 5 greater than 5 is not true. It is false. So whenever this green statement, whenever this green condition, this is false, the code will be executed. So even for value 5, this snippet will be executed. I will explain it once again. It will say 5 and now the new t value will be 6. So we are supposed to repeat until this particular condition is holding true. Okay, we will try to understand the English here. It is a plain simple English. So what our snippet is asking us to do is, we will repeat these 3 statements until this condition of t greater than 5 is true. So t greater than 5, when this thing will happen. So after 6th iteration, the t value is 5, right? After 6th condition, t value will be 5. At 6th condition, t value will be 6, right? So now 6 greater than 5 becomes true. So at that time we will stop. We will not stop at 5. After 5, it will say 5. At the 5th iteration, it will say 5, and it will be, the new value will be 5 plus 1. 5 plus 1. So new t value will be 6. So after new t value, this condition will be true. T greater than 5, 6 greater than 5. So we will stop the execution at that time. Is it clear or still more confusion? So here is repeat until. That means we will. Okay. So Aditi ji, this is what I'm saying. In repeat, the program will execute. It will go under execution till the condition becomes repeat. Until matlab kya hai? So when this until word comes, no, what happens is we will check the value of this condition, t greater than 5, this condition, this particular condition, t greater than 5. So whenever t will become greater than 5, we will stop execution, because we have to repeat until this condition is met. मतलब जब तक ये कंडीशन ट्रू नहीं हो जाती, विल कीप ऑन एग्जीक्यूटिंग, बाय द टाइम विल गेट दिस कंडीशन is satisfied, we will stop. Yes, exactly. Simply put, it will stop when t becomes greater than 5 or 6. Right? So when we take away the word until, like it happened in previous run, so what here we are doing is we are asking it to repeat a particular snippet of code 10 times. Right? So we can control how many times the code is getting executed. Right? So this will be the output 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Right? So this is the option 1. Yes? So if most of you are clear, we'll move ahead, because we just have 15 minutes and many more questions to do. Okay? So we need to speed up a bit. Okay? One last doubt I will take is, if 4 is greater than 5, then we will get only 4. We also change it by 1, we won't be greater than 5. I did not get it nicely. What we will do is, if such questions are arriving, you can communicate with me via email. I will type in my email here. It will execute 5 also, Partha. It will execute 5 also, because it is saying t first and changing the t value in the next. It is saying t here, it is saying t, and then it is changing the value. So after execution, it will go back to check the condition. So when t is 5, this condition is true, no? This will become false at 6th iteration. That becomes 6. So 7th time it will not execute. It will not say 5. 7th time it will not execute. It will not get executed 7th time. But it will execute 6th time. Because t's value is changing in the loop, within the loop. So you have to think that, where is t's value changing? Here in this statement, t's value is changing after it is saying the t value. So it will say 5, and after saying 5, the t value is changing. Right? So this is how we will be learning to think like a computer. Computer will not think that, okay, it will execute only 5 times. It will not say it is starting from 0, so it will stop at 4. No. The condition, the value of t, we are changing after the cat is saying the value of t. Okay? So these are the what code goes, which sequence we are putting the blocks. That is important here. Okay? So here in this question, there were 2 key points. The sequence of the blocks and repeat until, which block we are using for looping, when the condition is getting checked. If the condition is true, then we will stop the execution of the loop. So the loop will keep on executing until the condition is false. Okay? So quickly move on to next question. So we want to find out the set of instructions to make our cat say the table of 5. Okay? Say the table of 5. So this we will try to do quickly. Okay? So here all the options, if you notice now, all options have s, t and x, 3 variables. S, t and x. Okay? And we will now do little bit of quick work. Okay? So what quick work we will do is, we will try to notice the similarity between all the options. Okay? So all the options have 3 variables, s, t and x, s, t and x, s, t and x. Right? Now for any table, how many times do we repeat the table? 10 times. After 10, 5 tens are 50. the cat is supposed to stop. So that means we are supposed to repeat the loop 5 times. Okay, so one advantage of computer programming is we don't okay, I'm zooming in now. Fine. Yeah, so the major advantage of computer program is we can ask computer to say x into 1, x into 2, x into 5 if x is our variable, x into 5, x into 6. So this, if it is repeating 10 we are, if it is repeating, then we can use the repeat block from scratch, right? So but how many times? Yeah, we can for 10 times we can repeat, we can say the upper limit if we are using the condition statement. But if we are using the repeat statements, then we can directly ask scratch to repeat the certain sets of code 10 times. We don't need to ask it to repeat the set of questions to 11 times, because here we are not checking any limit, right? We are asking scratch to execute certain set of instructions 10 times. Yeah? So don't get confused. Here we are not checking any condition. We are straightforward asking the scratch cat to say something 10 times. But what it is supposed to say? Now here it is saying x. So here x we have set to 5. So we have assigned our x is 5. Our x is 5. Okay. So we are supposed to ask x multiplied by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on, right? For a table like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, right? So what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to set one variable and increase that variable or change that variable value by 1, change it by 1, change by 1. So if 1, then change by 1, 2, 3, so on, we'll get the 10 value, right? So yeah, Arunji, we can take up the doubts, but at the end of the session, because we are still on 5th question and 5 more to go, and we have just 10 minutes more. So we'll try to extend, if the Google Meet permits us more than 1 hour of session. We'll try to extend. Otherwise, we'll just try to find some way to connect. I'm just typing in my email ID here. So if you have certain doubts, you can drop an email to me as well. We'll try to finish this question quickly. It is very easy to understand. Okay, so we will have one variable which is our x, which is 5, right? So it is saying x, so it is saying this x multiplied by this. So we need another variable which will change its value by 1 in every iteration, right? So change by 1. So the value of t is getting changed by 1 at every iteration. Okay, but now what it is supposed to say, now we are changing the x value. So s also we have set to 5. So multiplication, this is the asterisk. Okay, this asterisk is used for depicting multiplication in a computer program. So now t and s are getting multiplied and t is getting increased by 1. So this t multiplied by s, so this is our t, because we are changing t by 1. Here we are changing the t value by 1. So this is our t, and it is saying x. So x is this multiplication. This is x. So we are doing it multiplication of t, and 5 is here. S is our 5. S. And this value, because t we are changing it by 1 every iteration, right? Every iteration we are changing the value by 1. So 5 multiplied by 1, 5 multiplied by 2, this will go on till 5 multiplied by 10, till this 5 multiplied by 10, right? So was it easy to understand? So this particular loop only is enough for us to make that cat say out aloud the table of 5, right? So here what were the two things what we thought, how did we solve this mathematical problem using computer program is, we had set the 3 variables. One is 5, which was our s. one is t, which took value of from 1 to 10. Yeah, in this loop, which was repeated 10 times, this particular loop, it was repeated 10 times, and we are changing the value of t by 1 until it reaches 10, because in the first iteration it is 1, here it is 1. So after first iteration it becomes 2. For second iteration, when this multiplication is happening, so after this multiplication is happening, we are changing its value. Okay, so keep in mind the sequence. Okay, keep in mind the sequence in which the code is getting executed. So after multiplication, we are changing its value. So for next time, for whenever it is saying the value of x, it will say, so let us try to execute this particular code once. I'm just zooming in so that I have space to write here. Yeah, so in first iteration what happens is s is 5, it will say 5, x is 5. Now what happens is it is setting x to 5 plus 1, 5 plus 1, which is 5. Now it is changing the value by 1, so that means the t new value becomes 2, because initial is 1, so 1 plus 1, 2. Yeah, so it will say 5, and now t become 2. So x is still 5. So we will check the sequence in which the code is getting executed. X is still 5, it will still say 5 in second iteration. So 5, 5, and then the x new value will be 10. 5 plus 2, 10. Now in third iteration, when t is equal to 3, it will say x is equal to 10, and now the table will start. So this particular snippet will give us 5, 5, 10. What the cat will be saying is 5, 5, 10, and so on, 15 and 20 and so on. So this is not what we want. We want 5, 10, 15. So this will not give us the correct answer. So now we need to pay attention to the sequence in which t value is getting changed and x is getting said, right? So let us see what is happening here. We are saying the x first. So x's value is 5. So it is saying 5. Now t becomes 2. It is waiting and doing the multiplication of t and s. So s is 5 and t is 2. So now x's value is 10. So now it is saying x. So after 5 it will say 10. Now changing, adding t, adding 1 to the value of t, so now t will become 3. It will wait, do the multiplication, 3 into 5, 15. So now x's value is 15. It will say 15. So this is what we wanted, right? So now 15, then 20, and so on. It will do it 10 times. So it will stop at 50. Right? So here the sequence was important. So this is how we will try to guess what code is doing. So just quick check what it is doing. So it is saying x, then it is changing it by 1, and it is doing multiplication. So it is the same sequence, right? It is saying x, changing the value of t, and then doing the multiplication. But the repeat loop value is 11. So it will go on till 55 and will not stop at 5, right? So coming to the last option, again repeat 11. So this also cannot give us the proper 5 stable. So this will not be the answer. So correct answer is this particular option. Okay. So the question 6 says, imagine the sprite as the cricket ball, and the ball will move in which direction, that we are supposed to guess from this particular code. So like many of you had doubts in the angle, how to decide the angle. Yeah. So now here that doubt will be cleared. That doubt will get clarified. Okay. So this turn block, what it does is it decides the angle in which our sprite or the image is moving. So here this arrow is anti-clockwise, right? So it will move in 20 degrees in anti-clockwise direction. So there are two such things, there are two such blocks. Okay. Okay, sorry, my bad. Where's it? Huh. So this is the, we'll try to see the motion wala thing. Okay, so this will tell us, it will move the, this particular code will move the sprite in 15 degrees angle in anti-clockwise, and this will do the clockwise motion, right? I'm not able to zoom in my screen, so you will have to figure out. No, you can zoom in the screen at your end. I'm not able to zoom in this scratch thing, but I just want to show you that we can move our sprite, the change angle, not move, change the angle clockwise and anti-clockwise direction, right? So now let us move back to our question. So what it is doing is, it is changing the angle by 20 degrees and moving in 30 steps. It is changing the angle 30 degrees, 20 degrees and moving 30 steps, and repeating this how many times? 17 times. So we'll just try to draw how this will be executed. Okay. So suppose this is our ball, or cricket ball. For this is the 0 degrees. Here it is 0 degree. So this will be somewhat 20 degree. Okay, I will just try to draw at some other place. This is the ball, this is the 0 degree, and this is the 20 degrees. Okay, so this is the 20 degrees anti-clockwise direction. Yeah, anti-clockwise 20 degrees, and it is moving 30 steps. So it is stopping here. Say for example, it is stopping here, and now this same thing for, again it will move on. So for this, now for this is the 0 degree, and this is the 0 degree, and it will again move in 20 degrees for some 30 steps. So it will reach here in this direction, right? So this is how the each loop will get executed. Okay, but now how to not execute and not see. So all of you have correct answers. So maybe there is some mistake. The answer is saying, the correct accepted answer is saying circular motion. So there might be some mistake. I'm coming to that point. So you, all of you are right that this is the curved path and not the circular motion. So another way of mathematically doing is, at every iteration it is moving in 20 degrees and taking 30 steps. So equal steps in 20 degrees. So how many times it will do? 17 times. So if we consider how many times, how the angle changes, 20 into 17, 340 degrees. So it is not completing 360 degree, it is just doing 340 degrees, right? So it is not completing a complete circle. It will move on, it will go like this and stop somewhere here. There will be some intermediate positions and it will stop somewhere here. It will not be back at its initial position to complete the circle. This will not be happening because it is repeating just 17 times, right? So I think it was easy to, this question was easy to understand because many of you are giving me the correct answer in the chat box, right? Yeah, so this was a bit easier. So now we are slowly learning how to think like a computer. So let us quickly do, because we are already at the 8 o'clock mark. So we are 7 questions, so 4 questions more to go, 4 questions more to go. So we'll quickly try to guess how many times, what will be the output of this particular snippet. So this should be relatively faster. Okay, so now we are setting up z's value to 2. So let us make a table, because we have two variables, z and x. So let us store z ka value here and x's value here. So initial values are 2 and 1 respectively. So we are supposed to repeat it how many times? 10 times. And how many lines we are supposed to repeat? We are supposed to check the if condition. This is the condition. If this condition is true, then these two blocks will be executed. Okay, and if this condition is false, only these will be executed. But for true, this also will be executed. For true also, for true also, because once the condition is true, it will move on and execute these two lines also. So now let us try to execute this code. So now if condition says, if division of x by z, so let us make a third column here, x divided by z. So for first iteration, 2 divided by 1 is equal to 1. No, it is 2. So this condition, then this will be false. So the condition will be F, false. So these two steps will not be executed. It will come out, and what it is doing, change the x by 1. So we will add 1 to x. So now it becomes 2. And wait for 1 second. Again go back to checking the if condition. Again go back to check the if condition. So z's value is unchanged. Z ka value is still 2 for second iteration. Z's value is still 2. So 2 divided by 2, the condition 1. So that means condition becomes true. So these two will be executed. The scooter will move because we are asking it to move 10 steps. So when the condition is true, scooter will move. And now we are changing z ka value by 2. That means we are adding 2 to the z ka value. So now currently z's value is 2. It will become 4. In third iteration it will become 4. So x becomes 3 now, because we are coming outside this if condition. Now x's value becomes 3. Now we will wait. So these values are getting changed in this run, and for the next run these conditions will be checked. Okay, so for simplicity's sake I have made one table, but try to understand these values are getting changed in the previous run. So the next run's value or the next run's conditions I will be noting down here. Okay, yeah, you're right. First iteration the division will be half, so the condition will be false. So the scooter will not move. So now 4 by 3, 4 divided by 3. So the answer is not 4. So the condition will be false. So if for false condition, scooter will not move, right? For all the false condition, this scooter won't move, will not move. For only true condition, scooter will move. So we are supposed to check for all the 10s what is the answer. So for condition to be true, their division should be 0. That means the value of z and x should be the same, right? So 4 and 3, so condition is false. So now in next iteration what happens is next iteration is it is false. So z ka value will not be changed. Z's value remains the same. For all the true conditions, the scooter is moving and z value is changing, right? So z ka value remains the 4, x value changes, becomes 4. So now 4 divided by 4, 1. So for the next run, condition is true. So scooter will move. So now scooter will move and z value becomes 6, right? So this becomes 5.
5.
So 6 divided by false, scooter will not be moving. So this, say, x value, 6 value will not be changed at all. So it remains the same. This becomes 6. Condition becomes true. So is it easier to understand? The condition becomes true, the scooter moves.
Yes.
So that means scooter will move for all the even numbers. So that means 5 times. We don't need to run this for all 10 times, right? We all of us agree that scooter will move 5 times. Great. I'm getting responses as yeah. Okay, great. So this is the correct answer, right? Moving on to 8th questions. So in 8th question, we are supposed to guess which code represents the upward movement of the ball and which code represents the downward movement. So we are asked to imagine a cricket ball and the player is hitting sixer on delivery. So which of these two codes, so these are the two snippets, which of the left hand side and right hand side, which will be depicting the upward motion and which will be depicting the downward motion? So here we'll do some trick thing. Okay, we will not be running this code because in exam we will not be allowed to run the snippet and guess what is and see what is it doing. Okay, so we will try to think like a computer and see what each block of code is doing. So here in left hand side of snippet, this left hand side snippet, this one, okay, I'm talking about this snippet. It is turning anti-clockwise 20 degrees and doing 100 steps. So if ball is here, it is doing like this. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so if ball is here, it is doing 20 degrees. So for ball, this is 0 degree, so this is 20 degree, right? Again from here it will move on 20 degree. For this will be the 0 degree, it will move like this, 20 degree. Again for him, this is the 0 degree, 20 degree will go here. So it will take some curvature path, but it is moving upwards, right? Upwards, because of this anti-clockwise direction. So now let us try to see what this snippet will be doing. So if this is the ball, this is the 0 degree, and it is moving clockwise direction. Yeah, in clockwise direction. So 60 degrees is somewhere here. It will go on to 100 steps. It will stop here, wait for 1 second, and now doing 40 degrees, again anti-clockwise. So for this is the 0, and this would be the 40. So 100 steps again, so reaching somewhere here, right? So it is moving in this direction, which is downward, and here the ball was moving in this direction, that was upward. So we quickly figured out that the left wala, this block is the upward moving, and the right one is this one is the downward moving. So let us check all the options. Left block represents downward, no. Right block represents upward, no. Left block represents upward, yes. And right block represents downward, yes. So this is the correct answer. Both blocks are not representing the same set of movements because the angle is changing. Angle's changing. Now, ninth question. Which of the following statement is true about following block of code? Okay, so just we want to say what can be the possible output of this particular code, and depending on possible outputs, we'll try to see which of the following statements is correct. So again, we will make a table because there is x and there is t. Okay, there are two variables, x and t. So let us make a table here, x's value and t's value, and let us try to store these values. Now we are supposed to repeat this 7 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and see what happens. So now x's initialization is done to 1. So that means x's value for first run is 1. Oh, sorry, I have written x over here. Wait. So here x's value is 1. So now what it is asking is set t to pick random 1 to 10. So now this pick random is picking a random number lying between 1 to 10. So it could be any random number. Say for example 3. Let's take 3. Yeah. So this is 3. So now what it is doing, change x's value by t. So what I will do is, to avoid confusion, let us write the initial value of x here, and the first iteration, what is happening in the block, that here in this. So now x is change the value of x by t. So now x becomes 1 plus 3, 4. Now wait for seconds and now repeat, because there is this arrow. Now repeat this. So in second iteration, again pick some random value. So random value, say for example 6. So 4 plus 6, because change x by t. So 4 plus 6, 10. So it becomes 10. Again some random value, say for example 1. So in third iteration, the value of x will be 11. In fourth iteration, let us say 2. So 11 plus 2, 13. Fifth iteration, we are picking say 7. 13 plus 7, 20. Now say 8. 20 plus 8, 28. For last iteration, say for example 10. So it will become 38. So what it is doing is, it is picking some 10 random numbers, and finally it is showing variable x. That means it is printing the variable x. So 38 here. So what will be the final output? The screen will show number 38. So 38 is what? Addition of these numbers from 4 to whatever random number, sorry, addition of these random numbers, not this number, these random numbers between 3 to 6, which we every time we picked for 7 cycles, right? How many times we picked random number? 7 cycles, right? So 7 random numbers. But how those random numbers were? Those random numbers were lying between 1 to 10. Between 1 to 10. So how did we get this 7? We got this 7 from repeat 7 times. Random number from this pick random thing. I'll just change the ink color. From this pick random thing. And these random number, how was the random number? It was between 1 to 10. So between 1 to 10. Right? And what we did was, we added it. This was the addition, no? This was addition. So 10 gave us addition of 2 random numbers. And there was 1 also, how we can forget? So these 2 random numbers was 3 and 6. So that means these are being added to 1. These are being added to 1 because x's initial value was 1. So the code is adding 7 random numbers between 1 to 10 to 1. So which of the statement is true? The code is adding 7 random numbers between 1 to 10 to x. Yes, it is doing that only. We are adding 7 random numbers because this 1 is nothing but the value of x. So these random numbers are getting added to the x. So the first statement is correct. We are adding 7 random numbers lying between 1 to 10. Yeah. So now we are coming to last question. End of the session, right? So many of you have already started typing the answer to the last question. I hope the question is visible to everyone. Which of the following statement is true about Scratch? Okay, so we are supposed to find the true statements about Scratch. So whenever the true and false statements are there, we need to read the statements very carefully. Okay, so first option is, we can not add sound to our animation. Is it true? We can't add sound. We were making the cat say numbers. We can also record our voice and add custom made sounds using Scratch. Okay, so this statement is not true. This statement is false, because we can add the sound effects also. Now the second statement says, we cannot make a picture disappear. We can show the picture and we can hide the picture. So hiding will allow us to make the picture disappear. So even this particular statement is false. So we can run a forever loop. Yes, we can run a forever loop. We will check it in a bit. But let's move to last option. We cannot make the new variable. This is absolutely false. We can make new variable. We can set values to that variable. We have already seen using these examples. So now this C statement is, we can run the forever loop. Yeah, we can make n number of variables, we can initialize them, we can do operations using variable, we can add, subtract, we can assign them true or false all called boolean values. So we can assign the boolean values to the variables. So even the variable related statement is false. So now let us see the C value. So this is the Scratch interface. Now we will see the control, what kind of blocks are available in the control statements, what kind of statements are available. So if you go there is this particular loop here, this which I have dropped, the third statements in the forever, which says the forever. Yeah, this highlighted one, which is highlighted, you can see. So this is the forever loop. So this forever loop allows us to run a particular block or a particular set of instructions forever. There are these green and red flag at the top, if you can see. I am highlighting and de-highlighting them here at the corner. Yeah, here. So these will allow us to stop the execution of the program. But this forever loop, but this highlighted forever loop, if it keeps on running, it will be running forever. It will be running until we stop its execution. So the option C is true. Yeah, we can run a forever loop using Scratch. Surya ji, I hope I was clear that even though logically it will be very unwise to keep your code running forever, but that forever loop, it will by the time the program is getting executed, it will allow us to keep that program going on, keep the set of instructions going on. Yeah, so Surya, I'm explaining the same thing, right? So this forever loop, it will allow us to so there are in Scratch interface now, there is so in the Scratch interface there are these set of codes, the control statements. Wait, I will try to use the landscape mode so that it is little bigger. Yeah, so there are these control statements which I have just highlighted. I hope the in the screen you can see. So there is this forever loop over here, there is this forever loop. Yeah, so this forever loop, it will allow let us make the cat move some 10 steps. So forever, and till what time it will move? If we run this, the cat will keep on moving, keep on moving. Why it is not getting executed? So it will keep on moving forever. But using this block, like there is this events related code, so whenever we are clicking this green flag, it will start execution, and whenever we are clicking the stop button, it will stop execution. So now let us see, it will keep on moving, it will keep on moving, it will keep on, it will keep on moving forever. It is just going ahead. So again we will bring it back, and it will keep on moving till it has reached the end of the screen. In real life, forever loop, maybe not in Scratch, but in real life, if you want to keep anything running forever, like some timer count or something which should go on, some set of instructions which are say for example, if you are monitoring web camera feed, the CCTV camera feed, so you should be monitoring that all the time. So at that time you can use the forever loop. So forever loop is something which is very specific to Scratch. In program we can also use in Python program also we can use the forever loop, where we have to check some condition, or we have to execute certain set of instructions all the time. The easiest to understand example is monitoring CCTV camera for theft or any unwanted activity. So we have to keep on monitoring, we have to keep giving the instructions to the computer, right? Yes, so again the Partha has shared a very beautiful example, real life example of forever loop is forever you run simulation of universe. So yeah, we are running forever as human. Yeah, good example. Yeah. So we are at the end of our session. So if there are any more doubts, then we can take up. We are already almost half an hour over the time. So we can quickly take couple of doubts, or you can ask doubts via email or forums also. Using the Swayam platform, your NPTEL forums, the discussion forums, there also you can ask questions if you have any doubts regarding the questions we solved. I will try to answer those questions in the forum also. So forum is one way to connect. Infinite loop and forever loop, yes, we can say they are same or similar. So basically what I'll tell, don't get confused. So Scratch was designed for kids. So Scratch was developed by MIT to teach young kids of third standard, so say 7 to 8 years old. So 8-year-olds are from the age of 8 you can start programming using Scratch. So for young ones, the word infinite loop and everything, those are very difficult to understand. So for the school kids, to make it simpler to understand, they have used this in a forever loop. Yeah, so it is just a word play. So for Scratch, it is very simple to understand. Don't get confused and don't try to mix the advanced concept with the Scratch concepts, because Scratch is meant for school kids, right? Yeah. So shall we conclude, because we are already much over time. So let's conclude today's session and we'll meet next week also. And if you want me to make any changes, do write to meet. Yes, let's go eat dinner. Yes, it's dinner time. Okay, so if you want me to change some of the ways, you can write to me, or in the beginning of the next session you can communicate to me. Okay, so it was nice interacting with you all. I hope we continue this. So if this time suits you, do join next week's session as well, and we'll try to solve. Yeah, recorded video in the next session. I'll be sharing in the beginning recording of this thing. Okay, yeah, link is the same. The Google Meet link is the same for all the 12 weeks, so you can use this today's link only to join for every week. Okay, next session, same day of the week, Tuesday, same time, 7 p.m, same venue, everything will be same. I will also be the same for today's 7 p.m session, so changes will not be much. Okay, the only change will be the assignment 2. Okay, so if Scratch is meant for kids, how Scratch will help us? Scratch will help us to think like a computer, to help develop our logical or algorithmic thinking. I have shared my email ID in the chat box. So this is to help this. So Melam, I think I lost your doubt in the chat box. You can unmute and ask your doubt. Yeah. Melam Vamsi Krishna, you're asking me last doubt, ma'am. Please reply me. So I somehow I missed in the this thing. Yeah. So please unmute and ask. Yes. Yeah, you're not audible. Just we'll quickly wrap up today's session. You can ask in the forum also. I will try to search for your question in the chat box. But somehow I think I lost it. People are still joining. We are end of the session. Absolutely, I'm not able to find your question. This is the last out. How to check? Okay, how to check Unit 1 videos? Oh, these are uploaded on Swayam platform. No, these are uploaded on Swayam. You should be able to see the videos or access the videos through the Swayam platform. Plus, this is one of the popular courses. So on NPTEL's YouTube channel also, you will be able to access videos by the Professor Sudarshan Iyengar. Yeah, it is available on YouTube also, and via Swayam also you can access. Yeah, so again, recording I will be sharing. This week's recording I'll be sharing next week, because I'll be uploading it on YouTube, so I need some time in uploading and editing. So I will be sharing the YouTube record for this week's session in the next week. Okay, yeah. So it was nice meeting you. I will close the meet now, hoping to meet you next week also. So Arunji, I think the memory thing is little out of scope for this exam, because for this course, because we'll be focusing on only the programming aspect and not. So as and when the course progresses, we'll slowly go into high level details as well. We will be looking at the Google page and all other sort of things, right? So at that time, maybe we can. I'm not audible. Anyways, Pratik, we are closing the session, so it's okay if you can't hear me. Yeah. Shraddha, did not get your doubt. What is for beginners? The course or the Scratch? I did not get your doubt completely. The course, yes, it is for beginner. That's why we are starting from the Scratch. Yeah, the Scratch is meant for school kids. So yes, the doubt is for the code is for beginners. The course is for beginners also. That's why we are starting right from the beginning. Literally from the Scratch. Yes, Rayoli. Literally from the Scratch. Yeah. So okay, let's close this meeting and let's meet next week as well. Okay, it was nice interacting with you all. Hoping to meet next week as well. Yeah. Bye. Good night. Take care. Yeah. Closing the session.